welcome to another top 5 video. It was originally top 5 Mondays, but I eventually started getting kind of late with doing them on Mondays, and so it's just going to be kind of a weekly series. I think I did about 5 or 6 of them in the past, and I consider all those like my first season of doing them. I took a couple months break from doing these videos, and this is my first one into season 2. And so the first one we're going to be talking about is Woody Allen films. Woody Allen is like probably my top. Actually, that's a whole other video. Let's just say he's one of my top 5 favorite filmmakers. And I've always said if I made film, and I was a filmmaker, which was always one of my dreams, that I would make them in the style that he does, especially in his early 80s, late 70s style. Because he definitely has a great style of filmmaking. But anyways, this is going to be my top 5 favorite Woody Allen films. Number 5 on this list is Midnight in Paris, which is a recent film of his, which won an Oscar for best screenplay, and it was a very brilliant written screenplay. And the reason why I love the film so much, and I'm not going to get into the whole cast and everything with each of these films because they're all things that you guys could look up or you probably already know, so there's no point in rehashing it. But I love the point that they make by, I've always said I would love to have grown up, like in the 50s, maybe even earlier than that, during a time when you feel like it was like a golden age. And what the movie kind of basically says is that it's fun and all, and it's cool to look back and say you wish you grew up at in this time period, but it's basically denying your present, and it's not always what it's cracked up to be. And that's why I loved about this movie is that it's one of those things where you look back, and you're like, man, it's like Owen Wilson's character in the movie goes back to Paris in the 1920s, and he doesn't understand why people in the 1920s are like, man, I just want to go back to the 1900, back in another country, and he's like, wait, this is the golden age and stuff like that. It's just that's the message of the film, and that's why I really love it. Number 4 is Interiors, which is, I think it was his first drama, like straight up drama that he did. I think it was right after Annie Hall, and it is a masterpiece. Talk about a drama, Woody Allen's known for having some really intelligent humor in his films, mixed with some drama. But then he also did some films that were so incredibly drama filled. It's like Bergman films, and that's one of basically his idol is Ingmar Bergman, and Cries and Whispers is a brilliant film of Bergman's, and you could definitely tell that Interiors is a lot like that, and you could tell that was what it was trying to achieve, and I feel like it did. It is a brilliant film. It's basically about a group of sisters who are, a family and mainly the sisters that are struggling because the mom, she's kind of out of it, and she's kind of crazy, and she's controlling and stuff. And well, the husband says one day basically that he doesn't want to live with her anymore. He wants a divorce, and it's like a mixture of a Cassavetes and a Bergman film with Woody Allen. Like, it's insane. Like, it shows all the characters' reactions and the devastation it brings to the family. The fact that they're all grown and everything, but it's just a brilliant film, and I suggest everybody go see it. Number 3 is Manhattan, one of the most beautiful looking films, cinematography wise, I've seen. It's about Woody Allen's character who, is dating a younger woman. I think she's like a senior in high school, and he is just, being himself, and they're your typical Woody Allen type characters until he meets his friend's mistress, played by Diane Keaton, and then they fall in love, and so then it's kind of like a love story, not really a love story between a certain people, but just more about how just love is sometimes. And it's just the Gershwin score, like it's all George Gershwin music, and it's just such a brilliant film. Unfortunately, it's one that Woody Allen hated. He definitely wishes, I think he tried to exchange a deal to where he get it pulled off all the shelves and everything like that if he did like another film. And the studios are basically like, no, man, this is a great film, and people love it. And it was great. It's considered one of cinema's greats, and he just did not like it, and he still doesn't really like it. But I suggest you see it. Number 2 is Hannah and Her Sisters, which is a brilliant late 80s film starring Michael Caine and a million other people, Woody Allen, and different storylines between different characters. But the 2 main storylines are between Michael Caine's character and his wife Mia Farrow, who Michael Caine's character has a crush. He realizes he has a crush on his sister-in-law, and it's kind of how he deals with that. But then also one of Mia Farrow's another one of her sisters, used to date a guy who's played by Woody Allen, and it's just in a hilarious side. Like, it's a drama and it's a comedy, and it's all put in one, and it's just different storylines, and it's a great film. It's another one of his films that won Oscars, best screenplay and everything like that. Michael Caine got an Oscar, and it's just a great film. Number 1, which is also I guess you could say my 3rd or 4th favorite film of all time. It's in my top 5. Is Annie Hall. Annie Hall is an amazing romantic comedy, but it's not even a romantic comedy. It's not a rom-com, I guess people say. It's just a straight up cinema masterpiece. Like, it's so good. Words can't describe how good this film is. Basically, it's about it starts out with Woody Allen. He plays Albie Singer, a comedian, and he's basically talking to the cameras, just talking about life and saying that he broke up with his girlfriend recently, and her name was Annie. And it's kind of like this. It tells the story of the relationship in a non-linear way. It's brilliant how it's told. It's like, at the beginning of the movie they're broken up, and then it talks about how they fell in love, and then different aspects of it, and it all comes full circle at the end, and it's so satisfying, and it has such great meaning to it, because basically the movie, it has everything from you know what, I'm not going to get full into this, because I'm actually planning on doing a video either tomorrow or the next day talking about Annie Hall and all the details and why it's such a masterpiece to me. But I guess one of the things I can mention is the fact that it talks about how with certain people, basically, like, I'm married. I love being married. I love my wife, and we're gonna be together forever. That's we both love each other and we're committed 100%. But marriage isn't for everybody, and the movie kind of addresses the crowd of the fact that Woody Allen in the movie's like in his 40s, and he doesn't really care to ever get married. He's been married like 3 times. He's just over it. But they kind of look at love in a bad way, but it's a necessity. It's kind of like love is one of those things that we just need, and it helps us get through life, even though like with some people it just doesn't work out. And I know it just sounds awful how I just explained it, how the movie portrays love, but it actually, at the end of the movie, really wraps it up about how it really is something that we each and every one of us need in one form or another. And I'll talk about it in another video, but it really wraps up the movie beautifully. And the movie is just groundbreaking for so many reasons. And basically, he borrows from so many different genres of foreign film and puts it into this movie. And I'll talk about it a little bit, but like there's like a subtitled scene that's hilarious. There's an animated scene of non-linear storytelling. He breaks the wall. He'll talk to the audience in the middle of a scene, and nobody else in the scene knows what's going on. There's a really funny scene where he's in line. They're going to see a movie, him and Diane Keaton, and the guy behind him is just being obnoxious, talking about Fellini and just different opinions of stuff. And he's just like, Woody Allen's just sick. He's like, this guy's breathing his opinions down my neck, and I could feel it. And basically he walks over to the camera and he starts freaking out, saying, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this. And the guy notices it, and he comes up to the camera too. He's like, hey, I should be able to voice my opinion. And Woody's like, yeah, but you're talking like about so and so, like them, or blah blah blah. Their opinions differ. And then Woody Allen like goes out of the camera's view and says, "Well, I got the guy you're talking about right here." And the guy he was talking about comes onto the camera, and it's just this funny conversation, but nobody else in the scene. I don't even think Annie is even noticing it. But they're having this conversation to the camera, and it came out of nowhere. Brilliant movie. You got to see it. Well, I expected this video to only be like 3 minutes long, and I noticed it's almost gonna probably be like 11 minutes or so. But yeah, look forward to a couple other Woody Allen videos coming up pretty soon. One of them I'm really excited about. I'm not going to talk about it. I think that may be the next one or the video after that. But it's something I've wanted to do for a while. So, I also got a couple Godzilla videos filmed that I'll eventually get uploaded. Once a couple of these other videos that I want to do now are up. So maybe like next weekend or so. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. And as always, remember there's 3 ways of doing things: the right way, the wrong way, and the Chattaway. See ya.